In this lecture, we are going to learn about Java lock class. So here we are going to implement our own locks. Okay, so lock is very important in concurrent programming. So in concurrent programming, you use locks lot of times. So what happens is that you have to execute some piece of code that needs to maintain mutual exclusion. Okay, so then two threads cannot parallelly execute those mutually exclusive codes regions. And how we protect that? So we use lock to do that. Okay, so when there is a piece of code that you want that only one of the threads can execute, and that piece of code might have some shared variables and so on. So what you do generally is that you say that okay, you have a lock, let's say L1. So you do L1.lock, you execute the mutually exclusive code, and then you unlock it. So this way you save multiple threads from executing synchronized block of code. Okay, that is, these part of the code can be executed by only one thread at a time. So how to achieve this? So this can be achieved, we can implement our own lock using in Java. So what we do, we have a lock and a boolean variable. So for a lock, you just have to have one boolean variable which says is the lock really locked or is it unlocked. So this is our boolean variable, is locked, which is false initially. Okay, which is unlocked basically. So how do we lock? So we lock it if what we do while is locked is true. So is it locked? So let's say a thread is there. So thread comes and want to execute this piece of code. So which first tries to L1.lock, it tries to acquire a lock, and then after executing it unlocks. So what happens? So when it tries to lock, it comes to this part of the code and says while is locked. So is locked, is it true that this lock has been acquired already by some other thread? If it is true that this lock is locked, then this thread cannot execute this mutually exclusive code. Okay, so now what it has to do, it has to wait. So someone is already there in that mutually exclusive code. Okay, so you cannot go there, so he is waiting, and this is in a try catch block. So what happens, he is waiting, and now when let's say that other thread was there, it was inside this region, now it is done and it says L1.unlock. Okay, so what happens with this, what effect is there is that he will first do is locked will become false and he will notify. So with notify, what happens when this is waiting in this synchronized block of code? So what happens, he is waiting. So now this part notifies this thread that okay, now you can go. Okay, because now he is notifies that you can run now, this wait ends. Okay, and he goes to the next while loop again in the next iteration, and now he finds that is locked is false and he grabs the lock. Okay, so now he grabs the lock, he runs the mutually exclusive code, and then again he will unlock, which means he will make is locked false because he is coming out of that mutually exclusive region, and he will notify other threads who are waiting to get the lock that okay, now you can take the lock. So this is the basic mechanism, and now we will see one example where this is being used. So let's try to see. So I have implemented a counter. Okay, so counter one class which has one counter, a very simple counter class is there. It has private lock. We have used our own lock class, and then we have a private int count where the count is set to be 0 initially. Now we have two methods on the count, increment and decrement, and we have used a lot of print statements to see what is happening. So initially in the increment, while doing increment, of course we have to only one thread at a time can increment or decrement the shared variable, that is count. So lock, we acquire the lock, then we do count plus plus, we save it in new count, then we unlock the lock because now we are done with the changing the shared variable, and we return the new count. So this is increment. And then decrement also very much similar. We first acquire the lock, then we decrement the count, and finally unlock and return the decremented value. So this is a simple class, but it is using our lock class. We have two threads, increment thread. Okay, so increment thread is there that increments the value. Okay, in the run method it just calls counter.increment. So this increment thread has a counter object in it, and inside the constructor we get that copied the counter. It has one counter class object which is copied here, and its name is increment thread. Similarly, you have a decrement thread where what happens, you decrement. So we have the counter and we just do the counter dot decrement. So these two threads are there. Then we use our lock. So this class is use my lock. In the main method we have counter object, we make counter1. It has one private variable counter which is initialized to 0. Then we have increment thread whose work is to increment, call the increment method of counter, and we have a decrement thread whose work is to decrement the counter. Okay, so we do increment dot start, t increment, thread increment we start, and thread decrement we start. So both of them start parallelly. And now, but we want that, okay, when the increment and decrement should be mutually exclusive, there should be no interleaving between those methods. And let's see what happens now by running this piece of code. Okay, so let's run this. So we build this, we are building this code, and now we use my lock, we run this. So now let's try to see so what is happening. So increment thread was the first one to acquire the lock, okay, and then it got the lock, okay, it incremented, unlocked, and now the second thread, decrement thread, acquired the lock, tries to acquire the lock. Now it gets the lock because increment thread had already incremented the value, then it decrements the value and unlocks it. But what happens, this is not going to be always the case. Sometimes other thread can run in different ways. So let's try to run it again. So now this time if you see, increment thread tries to acquire lock, then it is interleaved. Now decrement thread is trying to acquire lock, increment thread gets the lock, it increments. Now when it got the lock, now everything of that of the increment thread will run. It incremented the value, unlocked, then only the decrement thread got the value while it was waiting all the time till here. Then it decremented and unlocked. Okay, so this way you see that you run multiple times and different possibilities might be there. But okay, but when one thread acquires the lock, it will run the whole method, then only it will leave. But now let's see if there is any problem with our lock class. What happens when you have a reentrant code? So let's try to see what we mean by reentrant code. So we have a reentrant code class and here also we have a lock, my lock we use, and lock is new my lock. So we get the lock. Now what happens, we have two very simple methods here. One is enter. In this method we acquire the lock first, then what we do, so we just print here that okay, inside enter method trying to acquire lock, we lock the lock, then we say that okay, inside enter method got the lock. Now we call the re-enter method, okay, and when we are done with re-enter we unlock the lock. But let's see what is there in re-enter. Okay, that is quite interesting. So re-enter, again we try to lock the lock, and the same lock. So you have already locked it, now you are trying to lock it again. So you are trying to acquire a lock which has already been acquired by someone, and here you are not checking by whom, was it by yourself or by someone else. It just tries to acquire lock and finds that it has already been acquired without any check for who acquired it, was it you yourself. And so what happens now, when it tries to acquire this lock, again the my lock code will run while is locked. So is locked it true, so it will be just waiting, and it only has the lock, so this will wait will never end. So what will happen, this reentrant code will be just waiting here without acquiring the lock in the re-enter method. Okay, so let's try to run this and see what happens. Okay, so we have the code here. So re-entrant code, I make that object and I do rc.enter. So let's compile it once more. So I now run it. So now you see inside enter method, the first one trying to acquire the lock in the enter method while it was there. So enter method, there is no problem, no one has acquired the lock, so it gets the lock, but now the lock is acquired by it, that thread, okay, by the main thread itself. Inside the enter method got the lock very easily. Now it calls re-enter method and goes in the re-enter. So it says inside re-enter with a capital RE trying to acquire lock, but after that what happens, it tries to lock.lock and it never reaches system inside re-enter method. Why? Because now it's waiting in lock, it's trying to acquire is locked, so yes it is true, and it's now while is locked, so it's just waiting, and because it only has the lock, so it will keep on waiting because no one will notify. So unlock will not be called and hence it will be just waiting. So I hope you understand this.